Hello, students. Today we are going to learn how to create our relief sculpture. And I'm going to show you guys a little video tutorial on how to do that. So first let's talk about our supplies. You're going to need your air dry clay that the school has provided you with. You're going to need some kind of paper to draw your sketch idea on, a pen, something to write with. I have a fork, a knife, and a spoon, which are my clay tools. You can use something similar. I have a little bit of water, and I have something that I can roll my clay out with. You don't necessarily have to use a jelly jar. I was just trying to use something that I can roll with. So you can use a can, anything like that, or you can use your hands. Okay, so the first thing we're going to get started with is we are going to design our project, what we're going to do for our clay relief sculpture. So I have come up with a little idea here. I'm thinking an ocean scene on a tile with a little sun in the background. Here is just my plan so far. So I just have a simple little drawing that I can set aside, my sketch that I've done, so I can figure out, look back at it while I'm working. So I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side so I can look at it. And now we're going to start with our clay. So the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I get this nice and flat and roll it out so I can create my clay relief sculpture. Now you can use your hands. I'm going to use this jar of jelly here and show you how it mushes out. Now, the clay can dry up some. So if you're having some issues with it, feeling like it's drying up, you can get your hands wet. Okay, and then you can work with your clay. That helps add a little bit moisture into the clay. Also, if you find that your clay is drying out too much, you can always put some water on it and let it sit for a moment. That will help. So I'm just going to kind of roll this out into the size that I would like it to be for my sculpture. Again, you don't have to use a jelly jar. You can use anything that you can that can roll that has a little weight to it. Perfect. So this is about the size of what I want to create. Now I'm going to start figuring out my design. I'm going to go ahead and cut my edges off to clean this up so I have some extra clay to work with. I'm going to turn it sideways to keep my lines nice and straight. I'm going to use the flat edge of my paper here so I can make these cuts a little bit more precise. A little bit more to what I want to do. Just want to cut them down a little bit so I get away from this majorly organic shape. See if I can make that be more of a corner. Smush it out some. There we go. Nice. Okay, I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to decide what I'm going to do in here. Now there are two options I can do. I can carve using my tools, right? You can use anything from a fork, a knife, a spoon. A lot of times I end up using the butt end of a paintbrush. That works, or you can even use a pencil. But I'm first just going to sketch out what I'm going to create. And I have my waves here that I want to do. Okay, so I can draw my waves in, or I can take my clay and I can make it raised. For our relief sculpture, remember, relief means that we are either digging in or we are adding on top of it. Let's see here. So I can roll out a snake with my clay, and then I can decorate on top. Kind of like this idea better. Now, to add your clay to your other piece of clay, you are going to have to get it wet and your area wet. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start right here. Come up. Make my little wave. And come back down. And come up. Come back down. Do a couple of them here. have a nice little video. And just continue that on all the way through the end is what I'm going to do. Okay, I have moved my clay all the way down the line and I have my little wave pattern here. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my knife. I'm going to kind of clean up some of these edges and blend it in so it looks like that this was an intentional thing that I've done here. Create that, mold these two together. Make sure everything sticks down nice. Might need a little bit more water to help you. Smooth it out. Make it nice and silky smooth. Okay, so I have the first part of my design done. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my sun in the background. Okay, so I have added my sun and I went ahead and I added a little bit more wave details now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my finger and I'm going to smooth out my edges. Make sure this is all cleaned up so it's ready to go. Clean up my edges here, anything else that I might want to fix up. Excellent, and there you have it. I have created my design. Now the last thing we're going to do is sign it, of course, as always. So I'm going to use just this fork right here, and I'm going to carve my initials right in here at the bottom. So everyone knows that it is mine. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you, and I can't wait to see what you create next.